Yo, what's up, guys? It's Chase. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into one of the weirdest, oddly relatable trends going around on TikTok. It's the mall world trend. If you've been scrolling lately, you've probably seen people talk about super specific dreams that circle around malls, like some giant mall that feels familiar but also made up at the same time. So today we're breaking down this trend and see what it's all about, why so many people are having the same dream, and see what this kind of could tell if you're having this dream. Without further ado, let's get into it. So basically, TikTok is blowing up with multiple people talking about this super giant mall, and all the descriptions are very consistent with one another. Everyone's talking about huge open rooms, escalators that go nowhere, stores that feel familiar but don't exist, weird lighting, an empty food court, and strange vibes that you've been there before even though you haven't. People are stitching videos like this one. These videos are basically the internet realizing that millions of us are all having the same dream or some variation of the dream that seems very consistent with each other. People also are making videos on TikTok with videos like this where they're mapping out their dream worlds on a piece of paper, a journal, and they're kind of mapping out and kind of drawing it to show you the different areas that they have been, different areas they see, and how they are all interconnected in this giant dream mall, dream world that they're having.
I drew an intricate map of my own personal dream world. Come to find out, I'm in your dreams. My name is Tilton. This is part 7 of explaining my mall world map. It's called mall world, but it could be called school world, hospital world, parking garage world, parking lot world. There are so many parking lots. There's an underground market, and these are like garage style doors. Sometimes they're up, sometimes they're down. There's a big theater. Sometimes it's playing a movie, sometimes it's like a play, and everyone you've ever met is in there. The library of confusion and embarrassment. There's also the infinite toilets. I've talked about that in a previous video. And when you're in school, you're late to class, there's a test, you never know which class you're supposed to be in, you were supposed to be there a long time ago. You can go have breakfast or lunch in the cafeteria. There are rude lunch ladies. If you're looking to go home, then you need to go to the bus loop, but you don't know what your bus number is. So good luck with that. Or maybe your car is back here in this crazy parking lot where everything is like nothing makes sense. And don't worry, you're never going to find your car. You will never find your car. Maybe you will, but when you finally find your car, it's totaled.
This trend definitely went viral because it's that basic nostalgia feeling that you get. It has that perfect mix of nostalgia and liminal energy, especially with the giant open rooms, the big food courts, the empty mall concept, the weird lighting. It's really giving liminal space vibes, and those are very popular right now on TikTok. If you don't know what liminal spaces are, they are areas or spaces that they feel very familiar but empty, like an abandoned mall, a school hallway, an empty arcade, may it be like an empty ice rink, or like even it could be as big as empty city streets like downtown metropolis area, and there's no life around, no lights, no people walking, no cars. It's that oddly it's that oddly familiarity that makes a liminal space a liminal space. One of the most popular liminal spaces that you could think of when it comes to mind is kind of like that office, that yellow tint wall office liminal space that has the weird mesh carpet, the weird buzzing lights. That's like one of the original liminal spaces, is like a winding office space hallway. Now with these dream malls or these mall worlds have this same type of liminal energy. When it comes to these spaces in your dreams, what makes them kind of be created in your dream is that shared experience that most of us have been through in our lives. For example, we've all been to malls before, especially as kids. You know, the bright floors, the glass railing, the neon signs. So our brains use that as a template to build our mall world from. It could be the escalator is too long, the elevator don't work, the store logos feel off. You might not have seen the mall, or you've been to that mall recently and it's been updated, but the lighting and the glow of the lights kind of feel like you're stuck back in 2008, you know, that old time with the buzzing fluorescent lights. And the wild part is how many people relate to this. So what does this mean? That we all are interconnected within our dreams, talking to one another, or that we just have shared experiences and it's being used as a template to build our dream worlds on top of. So here's where it gets interesting. Psychologists actually have theories for this. The first theory is shared childhood experiences. Like I mentioned before, we've all been to malls, especially as kids. Most of us grew up going to malls. Even if it wasn't often, it was iconic. You know, big open center, second floor, balcony, elevators, escalades, bright lights. Our brains store that structure and use it to recreate our dream worlds. Even if you haven't been to a mall as a childhood as often, you know, when you see movies, a lot of movies have that shared experience of big malls. You know, like the movie I'm thinking of is Paul Blart Mall Cop. You know, you got that the whole movie is centered around inside a mall. So you got other examples throughout life if you watch movies, that there's always probably been an instance of you watching a movie and seeing a big open space mall, and that has been used to be stored in your brain to use as a structure when building your dream world. Another theory is liminal space memories. Empty malls feel nostalgic but also unsettling. Our brains love using this kind of place in our dreams because it feels real but also unfamiliar, and that eeriness, our brains love to use well-known areas when dreaming. Some scientists think our brains use the same map when building worlds in dreams. So for a lot of people, the mall becomes like a default map in a game. It's like a spawn point for your dream. The final theory is the internet effect. Now, the internet effect is simple. It solely piggybacks on the idea people never talked about this before TikTok. Now that we are all interconnected way more with TikTok and social media, and now that we are sharing these experiences, a lot of us are realizing we share similar experiences, or the experiences are very consistent with one another. So we are finding connections with similar shared experiences. Not only do we connect, it can help drive the imagination when hearing other people's stories and experiences and how they differ slightly, for that person to then go that following night, go to bed, and then now some of those elements from the story they read or heard has now been added into their dream world. Not only are those the only four theories, there are some kind of ridiculous theories in my opinion. I think these theories are just kind of fun to think of. I don't think they hold any validity, in my opinion, because they're kind of out there, outlandish for that to be the case. One of those theories is the dream world is the simulation screen. Another one could be simply Mandela effect. Pretty much with the Mandela effect, it's we are all familiar with places that have never existed. So like we're all familiar when we hear these stories of this dream world or this image, and I've been here before, and we look at these dream maps, we just naturally believe with the Mandela effect that we're familiar with it. We've been there, we've seen that too. But in reality, that has never existed, not once. Another one is our collective unconsciousness, which is just humans' shared dream symbols. This one I liked. It's the video game theory. The mall is basically a nostalgic hub world. I like that theory because it kind of makes me think of Ready Player One and how they had these really advanced VR systems and they were able to join in and be on different worlds and hubs and waiting areas that could mimic, different areas of movies. Video game theory I like because I like the idea of, I like the video game theory because it makes it to where the mall is just a nostalgic hub world that everyone shares and then everyone's able to go to, and it's like a shared kind of lobby. When you think of video games, it's like a shared lobby that we could all migrate to and start from if need be. So yeah, the mall world dream trend is weird, nostalgic, and kind of quite comforting. Let me know in the comments, have you had a dream about a mall before? And what's one store that always shows up for you? If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.